It's the sewer to Chandler Avenue, and I never go in there unless I really have to. It's the sewer to Chandler Avenue, and I never go in there unless I really have to. This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint. Inspector Burns finally opened his own barbecue joint. I bet it tastes just like arson in your mouth. That's Rook's pawn shop. It's an electronics shop now, but it once was a boarding house for some of San Francisco's most notorious smugglers and petty criminals. It's a 3 cards to midnight shop. Coit Tower, once one of the great landmarks of the city, is now a broken-down monument symbolizing the world that's passed us by. This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint. Looks like someone shot out the window on the second floor of the electronics shop. We'll need to find some way to get up there. Something like a ladder. This became a highly sought-after neighborhood post-World War III when it was found that the radiation couldn't penetrate through all the lead paint. The gate's locked, but when Rook gets to work, he'll unlock it, so I'll check back later. You know, I never actually see anyone working on this street. You know, I never actually see anyone working on this street. You know, I never actually see anyone working on this street. It's closed. Most businesses on Chandler Avenue won't open until later.
Hey, what can I do for you, Murph? I wish I could tell you everything you can't remember, but I don't know much. You and Chelsea went missing, and then you showed up out of nowhere a few weeks later. A couple of days after, you was gone again. I only saw you a few times after that. A couple of years went by, and then you came back, and something bad had happened to you. I don't know what, but it made you hard and mean, and you just got worse. Got to where I didn't even want you around anymore. No, me? I'm just the same as always. Just a little less of me than I used to be. I forget. You don't remember nothing about Taylor. She works for the Bay City Mirror, does a lot of investigations, and she's a real peach. Sweet, smart, funny. I wasn't too happy that you and her was spending time together, but maybe she was seeing through all that tough guy stuff. She's good that way. You know, I love Chelsea like she was my own daughter. I still miss her, even after all this time. Yeah, nice to have some fresh blood here on Chandler Avenue. Not really the kind of place I do a lot of shopping at, but some folks seem to like it fine. It sure is good to have the old Murph back. I don't want to get all mushy, but I missed you, Murph. Clint's done a real nice job, don't you think? Good to see the neighborhood getting fixed up. like that Archie fella. Real friendly. Don't always understand what he's talking about, but hey, different strokes for different folks, right? We don't get too much of that stuff around here anymore. Cops have been good about cleaning things up. I got no idea who would have been doing the shooting or getting taken. I don't got a ladder. You might want to check at the Golden Gate Hotel. They've been doing a bunch of renovations.
Wow, this place really has been renovated. I guess that dumbbell Ardo must have come into some money. But as I walk to the counter, I suspect this place is under new management.
Welcome to the Golden Gate Hotel. How can I help you? Mr. Murphy?
Did you know Ardo, the guy who worked here before? Wonder whatever happened to that big, lovable moron.
Ardo Newpop, California State Senator. Ran on a fire safety platform.
Well, it's sure a lot nicer than when Ardo was here. Call me Tex, by the way.
No, thank you. The last time I tried that, you were all...
I'm a professional and should be treated as such.
For some self-righteous baloney like that. Management heard about it and I didn't get any time off for a month.
Well, I don't meet many button-activated women, although it'd be a great optional feature. What's your name?
You know very well who I am. Holly Graham. Cute, right? You tangibles just can't resist a pun.
So, I think your sign has a typo. It says holograms are people, too.
So you can read. It's for the hologram rights movement.
I hate to tell you this, but holograms aren't people. And I ought to know, because I've dated a few.
That's exactly what they used to say about minorities, women, and mutants. It's our turn now. I'm officially on strike.
Well, more battery power to you.
Really? You're the last person I thought I'd hear that from. Everyone in this neighborhood's afraid of you, you know.
I think your file on me might be corrupted. Mind if I ask a few diagnostic questions?
Sure. Though I should warn you, I don't get out much. Oh, you know me. Just a hologram. Here to serve my tangible oppressors. The nicest tangible I've ever met. Taylor's my bestie, my real friend. I don't know what she's doing with you. I think he came in one time with Mojo, the kid from the barbecue place. It was awkward. Now that I know you support the hologram rights movement, I may have to reevaluate my opinion of you. Well, it's no Golden Gate Hotel, is it? I heard gunshots, and then the speeder came flying out and took off. We keep everything like that over at the Snow White warehouse. I've heard they keep a key or something to get inside the warehouse by the door.
I should look around the hotel lobby and see if there's anything here that could help me out. Hopefully, ballroom renovations include installing an actual ball pit. Hopefully, ballroom renovations include installing an actual ball pit. When visiting Salt Lake, be sure to visit... Oh. This place could use a woman's touch. Forget it, Jake. It's a Chinatown sale. I guess this is time out for unruly guests. Nice furniture. I guess this is time out for unruly guests. When visiting Salt Lake, be sure to visit... Oh. It's a key to a lockbox. All these pictures of how beautiful San Francisco used to be just depress me. Only guests of this hotel are allowed entrance through here.
Hey, Tex. How's your case progressing?
At least it's not a popcorn ceiling. What do we got here? Looks like instructions to get into the Snow White warehouse. Some familiar names on the Chandler Avenue sex offender list. Wow, is this still here? I used this to deal with a cunning criminal on my Under a Killing Moon case who had a bad case of bozophobia.
Ooh, it's me, Rusty Kids, and I'm here. Mommy's come back.
I heard he had my name tattooed on his knuckles, and he wants to show me firsthand when he gets out of prison. I'm not really looking forward to that. A ladder would be useful, except I can't reach it when it's on that pulley. Yep, that's the Snow White warehouse. Looks like an interesting read. Snow White warehouse. Looks like an interesting read. Now that I have a ladder, I can get into the second floor of the electronics shop. Well, someone up here is definitely the target of attention. Someone's been spying on the citizens of Chandler Avenue. And it's a damn shame. This guy was working diligently to get a free sub at Inspector Burns' barbecue. Someone needs to update their poster collection. Prohibition ended 100 years ago. Someone needs to update their poster collection. Prohibition ended 100 years ago. business card from a rival detective. What the hell? Oh, I was anti-Habitian myself.
Don't shoot.
Following our first lead, and we get ourselves caught in a laser net. All in a day's work, right?
Smart Alex had a point, but I wasn't going to let him have the satisfaction of knowing so. There was one good thing about spending hours stuck in a laser net. You got time to think. Who is this guy? Who killed him? And what kind of surveillance was he doing right across from my apartment? And what's in the metal canister? Have 7 years really passed without me remembering it? Is it related to my head injury or the injection mark on my arm?
He dead?
Well, I think you missed a hell of a party.
Party?
Yeah, you're here in time for the laser show.
I wouldn't do that. I was here to meet Carlos Maldonado. Is that you? Or him?
Look, I just stumbled onto this little nightmare, and I need to find out who this guy was and what he was doing. I'm a PI, and I assume this guy is Maldonado. My name's Murphy. Who are you?
Mason said Maldonado was a PI. Were you working with Mason too?
I'll be honest. I don't know if I was working for Mason or not. Actually, I'm having severe memory problems here, so anything you can tell me about Maldonado or Mason or what's in the cryo chamber here would be greatly appreciated.
I think I set off an alarm when I came in here. I don't usually do this kind of thing. I was just trying to help Mason. He said, come in here, find the PI, get the cryo chamber, and keep it safe.
Hey, I found that first.
Slow learner. You have to find Mason. I think he's in big trouble with bad people. I don't know why. He's a neurologist, for God's sake. But you have to promise me that if I let you go, you won't come after me. You'll find Mason.
Oh, I promise. My fingers are so frozen I can't cross them.
If your memory problems are part of all this, Mason is the only one who can help you. So you need to find him and bring him back safe just as much as I do. I'll be in contact soon.
Man, those cops are getting close, but I don't want to leave this place without a clue. I better hurry up and find something before they get... Well, that might come in handy.
Strictly speaking, I would never encourage anyone to break the law, but those sirens are getting awfully close, and a life sentence for a machine can last a very long...
Tough break, hombre. Not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. Not even one crate of mixers. This guy was hardcore. This equipment is surveying several different locations, including my office. This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move. This SOB's been living up here. This SOB's been living up here, watching my every move. Tough break, hombre. Nice to meet you, Maldonado. I'll need to find a computer whiz to break the encryption on this memory stick. Tough break, hombre. As I try to make my great escape down the ladder, I find two officials waiting to greet me.
Hello, boys.
Well, if it isn't Tex Murphy, what were you doing in there?
Well, it's a little hard to
Oh, you know the drill.
I was really trying to get my hands on that surveillance equipment. Maybe I could see exactly what happened to me. Now the only way I'll find it is if New San Francisco's finest decides to play ball with me. I don't know why they'd start now, but I'd better polish up on the old Murphy charm.
Whether you're a mutant or a Norm, San Francisco is our home. Be a part of the solution to crime. If you see something suspicious, please report it to the SFPD immediately.
Make it quick, Murphy. I got about a million things to do. And wasting time on you ain't one of them.
Didn't take you long to get in trouble, did it? You here to turn yourself in?
Well, first of all, no. And second of all, Danwich, you know me. You didn't have to send your goons down to get me. If you wanted me to come down, just ask me.
I'm surprised you remember me.
Danwich? Are you kidding me? Rhymes with manwich? And manwiches are unbelievably delicious.
In case you didn't get the memo, I head up the department now. And things aren't as loosey-goosey as they were under Malden.
Yeah, I gotta admit, Malden did like his goosies a little loosey. So why is it you think I came down here to turn myself in?
Well, we just found you at a crime scene with a dead body. That dead body happens to be Carlos Maldonado, a PI working the same neighborhood as you. Is that your way of intimidating the competition?
Seems a little extreme to me. Flyers and discount coupons have always worked much better for me.
I was just reviewing your file when you came in.
Is that a lot? Because it looks like a lot.
August 2047. Beak Nariz, NSFPD informant. Beaten and hospitalized after providing information about Tex Murphy. Nariz refuses to identify his assailant. No charges ever filed. November 2048. Surveillance video shows suspected extortionist Jen Lee leaving the Golden Pagoda with Tex Murphy, never to be seen again. The case remains unsolved. Shall I go on? In the past few years, you've gained quite a reputation for yourself. You've gotten New San Francisco's criminal underbelly running scared.
I can honestly say that I have absolutely no memory of any of these crimes. I mean, I'll take a polygraph test if you want.
We arrest criminals so they could be tried in a court of law. We don't just kill them, and I won't tolerate vigilantism. If you didn't kill Maldonado, what were you doing there?
Well, I'm drawn to laser nets like a moth to the flame. I followed the trail and saw that Maldonado had surveillance equipment aimed at my office. I want to find out what he recorded.
Who cares what he recorded? If you're such an upstanding citizen, you've got nothing to hide, right?
Look, I got jumped last night. I've got no idea who did it. I think there might be something on the surveillance tape, and if you can tell me what happened, I think I can help you on this case. Deal?
I rarely make deals, and I don't need to make one with our only person of interest. Any more questions? I'm not sure what to think of you, Murphy. That whole neighborhood seems to attract more than its fair share of trouble. As far as the coroner and the commissioner were concerned, finding Chelsea's remains in your speeder were enough to pronounce her legally dead. She's an investigative reporter at the Bay City Mirror, one of the less obnoxious ones. I know Maldonado was a dirtbag. But unless it's in self-defense, killing somebody, even a dirtbag, is a crime and will be prosecuted. I have no evidence of an abduction, just a dead body and only one person of interest. It might be in your best interest if you could find out what happened. I'm not allowed to let you see it.
That encrypted memory stick probably has some useful information on it.
Oh, great advice. If you could help me break it, then I'd be impressed. Guess I'll have to see if anyone else on the street can break it for me. Nice ladder. The gate's locked, but when Rook gets to work, he'll unlock it, so I'll check back later. Rumor is Zach Williams, owner of the electronics shop, is tied to organized crime. Well, we've had our problems in the past. For example, the last time I was here, he shot my credit card into 1,000,000 pieces. I'm hoping he's in a little better humor today and doesn't blow my brains out, or even worse.
Okay, I don't want any trouble.
Well, just so I'm clear, what kind of trouble are you not wanting?
Everyone knows what happens to people who get on your bad side. Only one reason you ever come in here, and it ain't to buy anything. You know all our stuff is junk.
I just want to know what's going on upstairs.
Look, the guys upstairs don't want any trouble either. They said you can have whatever you want at cost. And you can even put it on credit. Then I'll just tear up the bill.
Oh, I'm not talking about your bosses. I'm talking about the guy upstairs, the, dead one.
Look, I know how much you hated Maldonado, and I probably shouldn't have let him use the second floor. But he was paying cash, and he kept a low profile. So I thought it was all good. I didn't know what he was doing up there, and I didn't want to know.
Well, let's see what kind of useful information I can get out of you before I try jogging your memory.
Let's just leave me out of this, okay? I saw him bring in some cameras, so he must have been recording the surveillance. But whatever he had got confiscated by the cops. Sure, Maldonado was a creep, but his money spent just the same. He said he needed to do a stakeout of the Ritz. Didn't mention any specific names. Didn't sound like a big deal, and he was offering a good chunk of change. You the man, okay? We good? Look, I told the cops I wasn't here, which is technically true. I just parked out back when I heard the gunshots, so I just started the engine right back up and got the hell out. You live there, so I'm not gonna say a thing about it. That place opened up a couple of months ago. Doesn't look like my kind of joint. I do love Louie's cooking. Just don't ask what's in it and you'll be fine. All I know is you ain't the same guy that came slinking in here 7 years ago. Sorry to hear about that. Is that what turned you into Mr. Badass? I think he's the one who came by to check in on Maldonado. Must have been a client. Don't know anything else about him. I sell items to customers, not purchase them.
Rook's the little gremlin who runs the pawn shop. I've heard that his hard shell is hiding a heart of gold, but if it was, he'd cut it out himself with a rusty soup can lid.
Murphy! Here, let me look at you. Louis told me something terrible has happened. I've been worried sick.
Well, I appreciate the concern, but other than a weird case of amnesia, I'm fine.
But Louis says you're behaving like a totally different person.
Yeah, according to Louis, I've turned into a real bastard over the last 7 years. I think losing my memories brought the old Tex back.
Oh, Lord. Please don't tell me that lump on your head has turned you back into the pathetic, pestering P.I. I used to know. This is a nightmare.
Hold on. Are you telling me the Tex I turned into was not pathetic and pestering? Those are my secret weapons.
Look, Murphy, I'll grant you have some detective skills, but it was all relentless, annoying banter and endless questions to me. Imagine my surprise when, over the past few years, you turned into someone I could actually tolerate.
No kidding. So what was it you loved most about the new me?
You cut out all the chit-chat and became a no-nonsense customer who pays in cash. You always seem to have plenty of cash.
Okay, I'll cut the chit-chat. Just tell me where I come up with all this cash.
All my transactions are done in strictest confidence. That hasn't changed.
You know, sounds like to me, if I get my memory back, you don't want to be on my bad side.
Fine. Though I don't know anything that could possibly explain what's happened to you. Believe me, I'd tell you if I did.
Now, I suppose this is where you ask if I mind answering a few questions, but this is not for old time's sake. Next question. At least he knows how to keep his mouth shut. Why would I know anything about that? If the police confiscated it, I suggest you talk to the police about it. Maldonado? He puts the PI in pig. I heard you two had something of a rivalry going on. That's the man you think was abducted? The one I saw being chased down the street? I never heard his name before you told me. You became a sullen, short-tempered bully. And I miss that desperately. I heard a commotion and saw a crazed man running willy-nilly down the street and two other men in pursuit. I was hoping they would tear that flop house down, and they would have too if it weren't for that meddling Clint. Such an upbeat, chipper little man. Utterly obnoxious. I went there once, never again. What with that herbal tea and incense, it's a veritable gas chamber. Oof. I knew she'd get nothing but trouble being with you. Louis' niece is an absolute delight. What she sees in you is an absolute mystery. A prince among men makes me wish I could still eat solid food. Years ago, after Chelsea disappeared, you came to me looking for leads to some valuable items, among them a lost Fabergé egg. You left the street for a long time. When you returned to Chandler Avenue, you seemed like a different person, darker, more dangerous. I understand you have a thing for holograms. Maybe she's just your type. I'm sure you know much more about that than I. Some say you know exactly what happened. What is that?
Now that Rooks is open, I'll bet his back gate's open too. Yeah, I used to come back here and shoot hoops until I threw my back out.
Ten seconds left. Down by one. Murphy has the ball. He fakes. He drives. It's a 360. He's foul.
Or was it my front? It's Rook's Hydropod Garden. Whenever I see this, I think of Gordon Fitzpatrick from my Pandora case.
I've got anti-hydrogen pods on board, and I've got to get us as far away from Earth as possible.
Pods?
Pods. Anti-hydrogen pods.
He wasn't from around here, or even from this solar system. Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be useful. Lord knows what I could do with an anvil, but it might be... Why would a little gremlin like Rook have a basketball hoop? I didn't know there was that much polyester left in the world.
It's real good having you stop in more regular. How can I help you? Yeah, same old ornery cuss he ever was. Don't bother me none. I guess I'm just used to it. Zach don't come in here a whole lot. I guess he don't like my food much. So that so-and-so was spying on you. You and I wasn't real close, so I couldn't say why he'd been doing that. You wouldn't remember him. He moved into the neighborhood a few years back. Not a pleasant man. I'll leave it at that. That Hawley is a real spitfire. I don't know how I feel about the whole holograms of people too thing, but yeah, why not? I can't really talk about that. If she died the way the cops said she did, burned inside your speeder, it's just too much to think about. I keep a little hope that maybe she ain't dead at all. Or at least that maybe she died in a more peaceful way. I'm no good with that computer stuff, but that little fella at the barbecue joint is a whiz. I'll bet he could get you taken care of. Haven't had another food joint on the street since Francesca ran the Slice of Heaven. I thought it might cut into my business some, but not so far. Maybe we just don't have a lot of barbecue eaters around here.
Phone message waiting. Phone message waiting. Phone message. Phone message.
This message is for Mr. Tex Murphy. Storm clouds are brewing. Are you with the White Russians or against us? A White Guard member is close. Prove your loyalty and we will reveal the truth.
What the heck was that? There must be another Tex Murphy in the phone book. Looks like somebody's wiped my computer clean. Well, I sure don't remember how these holes got in the wall. They look fairly recent, judging from the debris. Who would have done this? And why? Yeah, no detective worth his salt would be without a fax machine. The door to my back storage room is locked. That's strange. One of my golf partners. Old Bogey, we call him. As I ring the bell, I expect Nilo, but another familiar face pops up from behind the counter. It's Clint. Looks like he's dabbled in some home plastic surgery to cover his empty eye socket. It's amazing what you can do with a tire patch, spray paint, and crazy glue.
Ah, Mr. Murphy, will you be needing some housekeeping done? I can't remember the last time we saw you around here.
Clint? You work here now?
Oh, I guess you wouldn't remember. I heard about your blackout. I used to have those, but they were more brownouts, you know, my old chocolate addiction.
So last time I saw you, Clint, it seemed like you were pretty loco for the cocoa.
Yeah, that chocolate stand was a bad idea. But it's all good now. I actually own this place. Bought it from Nilo a few years back.
Where did Nilo end up?
You mean Nellie? He got a sex change. Yeah, I don't know. He tried to pass himself off as his long-lost twin sister for a while, but that didn't fly.
Well, you've done a bang-up job. You even got rid of the smell. What was that anyway?
You do not want to know. God, I wish I could get amnesia for that memory. But on the bright side, we've exterminated most of the roaches and reinforced the foundation after the big quake last year, and finally got real fire extinguishers, so no more painted-on safety features. We're up to a 3-star cubic zirconia rating in the Mutant Leisure blog spot now.
So how did you afford all of this? I mean, didn't you normally eat up all your profits at the chocolate stand?
It's mostly thanks to you, my #1 tenant. You pay up front, and I always throw in a little extra to make sure I keep an extra eye on your place.
Well, math isn't my strong point, but I think you're out of extra eyes.
Did anyone ever tell you that you make it hard to give good customer service?
It's come up a few times.
You're paid through the end of the year, just like every year. You're hardly ever here these days, but hey, let me get my nose out of your business. That sounded disgusting. Let's change the subject. What can I do for you? You keep being my best tenant, and I'll be your biggest fan. Deal? The cops came by to ask me about that, but I wasn't here at the time. This may not be much, but it's mine, and I love it. Just get the holes patched before you move out, or I will keep your security deposit. Nice guy, but he's got some screws loose. Dumbest name ever for a shop. Look, I know I used to joke with you about Chelsea being in love with me, but that was just my jealousy talking. That's Louis' niece, right? Tall, brunette. Oh. I've got to steer clear of his diner. Too many chocolate memories. Look, I've had my own problems, as you know. I was in a kind of a dark place 7 years ago. Dark, bitter, sometimes nuts, raisins. God help me, marshmallows. Nice girl for circuits and chips. We don't need to talk about that, do we? That was a real tragedy. I can't help you with that. I can barely work a toaster. Maldonado? Nothing but trouble. I steer clear of that hombre. Maldonado is spying on you? Are you sure it was you? That guy's all mobbed up, so I keep my distance. That little gremlin's never forgiven me for stealing his newspapers and using them for blankets. I haven't tried it. They say that the sauce will melt your eyeballs, and that's a risk I'm just not willing to take. Me? I'm just living the dream. One chocolate-free day at a time.